You are now listening to the Shaw Report with Damian Banks.
What's happening? What's up? What's going on? It's the Shaw Report, and I am your host, Damian Banks. Shaw Bears alum and fans rejoice. This is your very own podcast hosted by moi, Damian S. Banks. This is the official podcast of your Shaw University Athletics, the Shaw Report, where week in, week out, I recap and give you a rundown of everything going on in the athletic department at your Shaw University. Another week is behind us. Thank you for joining us week in, week out, every Monday. You can catch the podcast on shawbears.com, or you can go to my website if you so choose, banksboy.com. Week in, week out, I'm going to give you the Shaw Report. Thank you for the support. Thank you for listening. You know what time it is. You know how I do, so don't act brand new. It's shameless plug time. Do me a favor, follow your boy on Instagram and Twitter at SportsByDamian. That's SportsByDamion. And Shaw University Athletics are on social media. On Twitter, it's at Shaw Bears. On Instagram, it's at SU_Bears. And on Facebook.com/Shaw Bears. And we thank you kindly. But I digress. We are back in the building for another week of Shaw University Athletics. And oh boy, what a week it was. Got a lot of things going on in the athletic department at Shaw University. Fall semester sports are winding down. Head coach Adrian Jones and the football squad had a big one this past Saturday at home versus their Raleigh rival in the Raleigh Classic. St. Augustine's University and Shaw University, they got it on the gridiron. We're going to talk about that this week on the Shaw Report. Also, basketball season is right around the corner. Actually, basketball just started. Men's basketball hosted the Shaw Classic inside of C.C. Spalding Gymnasium this past weekend. Going to talk about that this week on the Shaw Report. Also, volleyball in action. Head coach Jonathan Polk and the volleyball squad, they had 2 matches this past week. We'll talk about that on the Shaw Report. And head coach Randy McClure and the women's soccer program finished up their season in Raleigh. They took on Barton. We'll talk about that on the Shaw Bears Scoreboard as well. Got a lot going on this week's episode. What thing I don't have an interview. It's been a long weekend for your boy. I did both doubleheaders on Saturday and Sunday at the Shaw Classic, PA announcing. So it's been a long week for me. I didn't get any interviews for you, but I promise you I'll have one for you next week. Maybe I'll get Associate Head Coach Dominique Stevens for the men's basketball program, or the women's basketball head coach Jock Curtis. I'll be working on that this week. So cut me some slack. Do your boy a favor, man. Just bear with me. But I digress. Let's get this thing going. You know we got to recap the football game. Again, Shaw and St. Augs. The Raleigh Classic. 2 Raleigh rivals play each other every year. They're right around the corner from each other. So if you're a Shaw fan, if you're a St. Augs fan, I know you were at the game. I wasn't at the game. Full disclosure, I was inside of C.C. Spalding Gymnasium. I was, taking care of business for the Shaw Classic, but I digress. If you were at the game, you were treated to one of the better football games of the year. You all know the score by now. Shaw came out on top in this one. The Shaw Bears knocked off the St. Augustine's Falcons by the 24-21 score. It was a close game throughout, but it looked like Shaw was going to run away with it early. Got off to a 10-0 start in the first quarter. Torrin Campbell found Marquise Gorham for a 56-yard touchdown pitch and catch to make the score 7-0 after a Benny Kinsemi extra point. Then Benny Kinsemi knocked in a 40-yard field goal with 13:03 in the second quarter to give Shaw a 10-0 lead. St. Augs would fight back with about 1 minute and 24 seconds left before halftime. DeAndre Gilliard found Anthony Berry for a 29-yard pitch and catch touchdown to draw the Falcons to within 7-10, and that was your halftime score. Coming out of the halftime break, St. Augs took the lead as Gilliard found Berry again for a 14-yard touchdown pass to put St. Aug's up 14-10, but Shaw would answer shortly afterwards as Cavante Moses scored on a 12-yard touchdown reception from Torrin Campbell. Benny Kinsemi's extra point put the Bears back up 17-14. St. Aug's would answer again in the fourth quarter as Gilliard and Berry connected for their third touchdown of the day to put St. Aug's up 21-17. Shaw got the ball back with a little under 7 minutes left in the game and proceeded to go on an 11-play, 75-yard drive that took up 5 minutes and 11 seconds. Biggest play of the drive was Marquise Gorham's 75-yard reception on a third down to get the Bears into the red zone. Couple plays later, Torrin Campbell found Cavante Moses for a 2-yard touchdown pitch and catch. Benny Kinsemi's extra point put the Bears up 24-21. Defense would do the rest. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Shaw University knocks off St. Augustine's by the 24-21 score. Close game throughout. Biggest keys to the game for me going in was Shaw was going to have to shut down the running game of St. Augustine's, and they did just that. St. Aug's rushed for -4 yards in the game. You heard it right. St. Aug's rushed for -4 yards in the game. Conversely, Sidney Gibbs, the fantastic freshman out of Black Mountain, North Carolina, rushed for 131 yards on 28 carries for Shaw University, putting him over the 1,000-yard mark on the season. Sidney Gibbs had an outstanding freshman season. He ran for 131 yards on Saturday's game versus St. Augustine's. Quarterback Torrin Campbell passed for 294 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, and Shaw racked up 410 yards of total offense. Senior Marquise Gorham, 3 catches, 175 yards and a touchdown, including that 75-yarder in the fourth quarter that set up the game-winning touchdown to tight end Cavante Moses, who finished the game with 5 catches for 82 yards and 2 touchdowns for Moses in this one. Benny Kinsemi was 1 for 2 for field goals, knocked in that 40-yarder in the first half, was able to connect on all of his extra points in the game. Defensively, 6 tackles apiece for Jaleel Scroggins and Anthony Mitchell. Anthony Mitchell also had 1 sack in this one. Kevin Sherman had 2 of Shaw's 3 interceptions, and Deshaun Wallace also had an interception for Shaw. Thurman Trapp, 3 pass breakups, and as a team, Shaw's defense had 3 sacks and 3 interceptions. They picked off DeAndre Gilliard 3 times. Big time defensive effort by Shaw University, again limiting St. Aug's to -4 yards rushing, all culminating in a 24-21 win. Shaw finishes up the season at 6-4 overall, 5-3 in CIAA play, 5-2 in the Southern Division. The Bears did have an outside chance of representing the Southern Division in the CIAA championship game. Needed Winston-Salem State to knock off Fayetteville State, and it looked like Winston-Salem State would do that, but Winston led Fayetteville State 14-10 in the second half, but Fayetteville State would ultimately win that game 37-14. Thwarting the chances of Shaw representing the Southern Division in the CIAA championship game versus Bowie State. But congratulations to head coach Adrian Jones and his football staff. Market improvement year in, year out. This year, 6-4 overall, 5-3 in the CIAA, 5-2 in the CIAA South. Not a bad season. You got a lot of talent coming back for head coach Adrian Jones and the football program. Remember, Devin Hunt, the Defensive Player of the Year in the CIAA last season, he missed most of this season, got a red shirt, has 1 more year left to play, so the defense is going to be tremendous next year. Sidney Gibbs, freshman running back, he has 3 more years to go. He's going to be a force. Torrin Campbell, quarterback, he was a junior this year. He'll be back for his senior year. You got Daniel Bender at the wide receiver position. He'll be back for his senior year. So a lot of talent coming back for Shaw University. Next season is right around the corner. You got to train hard this offseason. You got to stay in your books, too, because you can't play if you're not eligible. But I digress. Get in your books, get in your offseason training, come back even stronger next season. But until then, we bid adieu to the football season. It's time for me to take a commercial break. Let's pay some bills. Don't go anywhere, but if you do, come right back. You're listening to the Shaw Report on ShawBears.com.
The tradition of excellence lives on at Shaw University. Since 1865, the university has maintained a commitment to excellence in research and academic programs. Programs on the cutting edge of today's high-paying professional fields.
I transferred from a bigger school because I like the one-on-one teaching here.
I can work during the day and still get my education in the evening.
Strides to excellence. Only the best at Shaw University.
Call or visit us online today.
This is the Shaw Report with Damian Banks.
And we are back on the Shaw Report. Thank you for joining us on ShawBears.com. Shameless plug time. You know what time it is. You know how I do, so don't act brand new. Follow your boy on Instagram and Twitter at Sports by Damian. That's SportsBydamion. And Shaw University Athletics are on social media. On Twitter, it's at Shaw Bears. On Instagram, it's at SU_Bears. And on Facebook.com/Shaw Bears. Before the break, we recapped Shaw's thrilling 24-21 victory over their Raleigh rival, St. Augustine's University, in the Raleigh Classic. Shaw finishes out their season at 6-4 overall, 5-3 in the CIAA, 5-2 in the CIAA South. Congratulations on a successful season to head coach Adrian Jones and the football program. Next season will be bigger. Next season will be better. I'll bet my paycheck on it. But I digress. Before we get into the Shaw Bears scoreboard, let's pause for a sponsor break. Today's podcast is brought to you by Summit Hospitality. Summit Hospitality is a proud sponsor of Shaw University Athletics. With 6 Marriott-branded hotels in the Raleigh area, Summit Hospitality can manage all of your lodging needs. Make your reservations for your family or a group by calling 919-669-0576 and let them know that Shaw University Athletics sent you. That's Summit Hospitality, 919-669-0576.
This is the Shaw Report with Damian Banks.
Yes, sir. Summit Hospitality. If you're in the Raleigh area, coming in town to see basketball, volleyball, whatever sport you want to check out at Shaw University, in town to see old professors, old friends, family, look no further than Summit Hospitality. Several Marriott-branded hotels in the Raleigh area. They can hook you up. If you need somewhere to stay, look no further. Summit Hospitality today. We got a lot of things going on in the athletic department at your Shaw University. We got volleyball. We have soccer, we have basketball, and we'll talk about it right now on the Shaw Bears scoreboard. Let's begin with volleyball, who had 2 matches last week. Head coach Jonathan Polk and the Lady Bears were looking for revenge as they welcomed the Lady Rams of Winston-Salem State University to C.C. Spalding Gymnasium last Tuesday. The Lady Rams snapped Shaw's 6-game winning streak back on October the 10th. The Lady Bears entered the match having won every match since that loss. Sweet revenge for Shaw as they swept Winston-Salem State 3-0, 25-20, 25-17, and 25-12. Highlighted by Jada Flowers with 24 assists, 2 kills, and 4 digs in the win. Tyler Hunter had 11 kills and 6 digs, while Jalen Butler had 8 kills and 8 digs in the win. Emma Celentano led with a team-high 15 digs in the win. Next up, the Lady Bears faced their crosstown rival, St. Augustine's University, last Thursday. The Lady Bears took care of business, winning this one in straight sets, 25-13, 25-8, and 25-21. Jada Flowers had 31 assists and 6 digs in the win. Jalen Butler and Tyler Hunter, each with 10 kills in the win, while Carla Sosa chipped in with 8 kills. The Lady Bears are back in action tonight, November the 11th, as they host Fayetteville State at C.C. Spalding Gymnasium. Tonight's match is called Pack Spalding, so we want to see your face in the place. For more information on head coach Jonathan Polk and the volleyball squad, visit ShawBears.com. Next up, we have men's basketball, who got their season underway last Friday versus Frostburg State in the 2019 Shaw Classic inside historic C.C. Spalding Gymnasium. Associate head coach Dominique Stevens stepping in for Joe Hopkins, who resigned shortly before the season began. Bears season got off to a nice start behind the play of junior guard Grayson Kelly. Kelly knocked down all 9 of his free throws and scored a game-high 27 points to go along with 6 rebounds, leading 4 Bear players in double figures in a 96-92 win over Frostburg State. Senior Devon Kelsey had 16 points in the win, while freshman Deshaun Dyson chipped in with 15 points.